I grew up in a small town in rural Pennsylvania where everyone knew everyone else and the woods seemed to stretch forever. My dad had always been an avid hunter. Most of his stories were harmless. He'd see strange shadows at night, hear noises in the trees. But one afternoon, he came home with a tale I could hardly believe. He claimed he saw a deer walking on two legs, just staring at him from the edge of the forest. He laughed it off at first, thinking I'd scoffed too, but then he brought home a piece of meat, wrapped in brown paper and leaking a dark red stain, saying, "This is the freshest meat you'll ever taste." That night, Dad cooked the meat in the kitchen. The smell was unlike anything I'd ever smelled before, metallic, sharp, almost alive. I could barely stand it. Mom begged him not to eat it, claiming it looked diseased or tainted, but he just grinned, tore into the meat, and ate it all. He chewed quickly, almost violently, and then he just sat there, staring at the empty plate. His chest was rising and falling too fast. Something about him felt wrong. Over the next few days, Dad's behavior changed in subtle but disturbing ways. He stopped talking much. The man who used to laugh, shout, and curse at football games now sat silently, staring out the window into the woods at night. His movements were slow and deliberate, almost predatory. And when he did speak, his voice was lower, guttural, like something deep inside him was trying to come out. I started noticing small things. He would sniff the air like a deer, his pupils occasionally dilating strangely, and he began walking with an odd, crouched gait. Then came the sounds at night. Footsteps in the hallway, too heavy to be normal. Sniffing. Sometimes it stopped right outside my door. Once, I saw him bending down to drag his nose along the carpet, tracking some unseen scent. I asked him what he was doing. He snapped his head toward me at an impossible speed, and his pupils, they weren't human anymore. Vertical slits, like a deer's. Mom tried to intervene, worried sick. She tried dragging him to the hospital, but he resisted, pushing her hand away, making a low growl that didn't belong to any man I knew. That night, I woke to her screaming. By the time I ran to the kitchen, she was gone. The back door swung open, shaking with the wind, and Dad was standing there, head tilted, listening to the forest as if something, or someone, was calling him. After that night, Dad was gone most of the time. When he returned, it was never fully human. His movements were eerily fluid, almost like a predator stalking prey. He no longer spoke in full sentences. Instead, there were low growls, sniffs, and strange noises. Sometimes, I would catch him on all fours in the woods behind the house, then suddenly rise onto two legs, towering over the trees in a way that made my blood run cold. I realized then The meat had done something to him, something that was changing him from the inside out. One night, I tried to leave the house to get help, but he caught me in the living room. His grip was ice cold, unnaturally strong. He leaned in, sniffing my neck, and whispered in a voice that was part human, part something else. Too young. I froze. I didn't understand what he meant. My heart pounded as I backed away, trying not to make a sound. He disappeared into the woods after that night, moving strangely, sometimes on all fours, sometimes on two legs. I thought he was gone for good, but the forest seemed alive now. I started hearing whispers, rustling branches, and low growls when I walked near it. Something had been unleashed, and it wasn't just him. Last night, I was lying in bed when something brushed against my window. I froze. A shadow leaned across the glass. The figure was tall, thin, and bent unnaturally. And then, in a voice I barely recognized, cracking, guttural, like broken antlers, I heard, "Son, I brought you something fresh. I don't know what's waiting in the woods now, or what my father has become. I don't know if it's too late, but I can hear the steps outside my window even now, slow and deliberate, sniffing the air, waiting. And I know it's only a matter of time before it finds me."